Now, this is the worst game for the PlayStation 4 that exists. This is Evil Within. This was the day one version of it. I don't know how long they did the slipcover of it. I wanted to love this game. This was my most anticipated game of 2014 and became my most disappointing game of 2014. I'm not going to go into why I hate it here. I did a whole video on that. Next up is Far Cry 4. This is a limited edition. You won't be able to see it probably, but it's behind me. Actually, I think it's just peeking up. Maybe, no. It's right over there. Anyway, is my collector's edition that came, the Cryat edition, special edition of the game that came with the statue. It basically reenacts the cover of the game. I loved Far Cry 4. It was basically Far Cry 3 with a little upgrades and some more side content. So it was like, some people were like, oh, it's too much of the same. I liked it still. The DLC, I've only played the one DLC. I don't know if all the DLC is out yet. The one DLC for the Yeti thing, where you fight Yetis, was not very good. I thought it was very bland. But the game itself is still cool. And the villain's cool. Not as cool as the villain from Far Cry 3, or actually the side villain from Far Cry 3. But still, cool game. Awesome. You should check it out. One of the best games ever made as well, Grand Theft Auto 5. I don't really need to say much more about this game. If you haven't played it, you should. Has an amazing online now as well. Like, the online community for this game is still going pretty strong, so you can get into that. But what I like is the single player, the main characters, and the storytelling. Rockstar does an amazing job. I'm a huge Grand Theft Auto fan. This game was amazing. I got the collector's edition back on the PS3 for GTA 5, which I wasn't really a fan of. But this version looks beautiful. If you haven't played Grand Theft Auto, you should. Next up is Infamous Second Son. This is a special like cover for this game because I got the special edition of the game, which I don't know where it is exactly. I don't know if it's somewhere around here. Anyway, that's why it has such a weird cover. I haven't really actually got a chance to play this game, and I should. I watched like a couple of friends play it multiple times within a span of a couple of days, like after it came out, so I kind of was like, oh, I've seen the game. I'll wait a while before I finally get to it. Now, speaking of Infamous, this is the first of the imports I have from Europe. This is Infamous First Light, which is a standalone DLC. You play as a female protagonist, and I heard it was actually pretty cool. I heard it wasn't maybe as good as Second Son, but it did not. It got a physical release in Europe, but did not get a physical release here in North America. So that's why I ended up picking it up. So there we go. That's the next pile complete. Moving on to the next one. I know I thought I was going to try to run through these games quicker, but I ended up, of course, talking. It's me. I talk nonstop. Next up is Final Fantasy X/10-2. This is the limited edition PS4 version of the game. Why I bought this? I was drunk, and I bought it on Amazon on a whim. Drunk buying on Amazon is the worst habit you can have, and you end up with crap like this. I actually already bought the limited edition of Final Fantasy X/10-2 back on PS3. There's no need to have this version as well. If you didn't buy that one, or never played Final Fantasy X, I've heard the PS3 version is still better because this version has a bunch of glitches and stuff. This limited version of the game came with it came with a calendar. I'm not even, like, it comes with a calendar. Useless, but whatever. Like I said, I ended up buying. I do like the box though. The box is quite nice for it. But Lego, the movie, the game. I'm just moving on from that. Battlefield 4. This is another one of those ones I'm just gonna kind of move on for. I haven't played. Don't really have anything to say for it. Transformers: Rise of Dark Spark. I had to buy this game a couple of times because the first time I bought it, I ended up getting the case, but the wrong game. I got Lego the movie, the game for the Xbox One in the first version I bought. So I had to return that, and then I ended up getting this version of the game. But anyway, this is Transformers: Rise of Dark Spark. Angry Birds Star Wars is Angry Birds Star Wars, but on a PS4. Just Dance 2014. Once again, I'm not going to play it probably. I know it's a really popular series. They release them every year. They got another one coming out this year, which eventually I will pick up. If you're wondering, it was $20 new when I bought this. Surprisingly, this still goes for like $50 at GameStop. At least last time I checked, it was still like $50 for some reason. Tomb Raider. This is the definitive edition of Tomb Raider, which of course was released on the PS3. The next Tomb Raider is being put on Xbox One, not even coming to PS4. But we did get the definitive edition at least. It's a fun game. It's a cool game. However, I had a little bit of issues with some of the stuff in the PS3 version. I haven't played the PS4 version, which I'm sure looks, of course, gorgeous. However, I ended up getting my save corrupted back on the PS3, so I kind of have a grudge a little bit against Tomb Raider, but I did pick up the definitive edition when that came out. NBA 2K14. Also, this is the best series between NBA Live and 2K. If you've never played, if you're not really into basketball, maybe want to try it, check out the 2K series. Really cool series of games. 2K16 I'm definitely getting, maybe even on day one. The career mode is actually pretty fun. It's actually like really immersive, much more so than some of the career modes in other sports titles. So if that's something you like to do, like create your character and then actually feel like you're living that character's or that athlete's life that you've created, NBA 2K does that. And does it better than any of the other sports titles. FIFA 14, it's soccer. Next up is Gianna Sisters Twisted Dreams for the PlayStation 4. This got a physical release in Europe only, did not come to North America, so I had to import this one. Gianna Sisters, though, is available digitally on every platform in the last little while. Really awesome series of platform games. Even back, they had a DS game, and this one, Gianna Sisters actually originally started as a Mario clone back in the early days of computers, and got kind of brought back out of nowhere for a Nintendo DS release, which was a lot of fun, and then the Gianna Sisters, Twisted Dreams, the games for the PS3, Xbox 360. This is the director's cut. I don't know the difference. Really, I know even sports on the back, 60 frames in 1080p. Also, real quick, if you don't already know, PS4 is region free, so that's the reason why I'm able to import games, because I actually can play them on my US PS4. Dynasty Warriors Extreme Legends Complete Edition. My friend Paul actually has this, so I borrowed it from him originally, so I haven't even opened my copy. It's Dynasty Warriors. If you're into these games, they're still a lot of fun. I actually like Empires a little bit more though. Cabela's African Adventures, another game I did a series of videos for on the YouTube you can check out. It's pretty awful, as expected. Pinball Arcade. This is actually pretty cool. Pinball Arcade includes a ton of pinball tables. If you're into pinball, from what I've heard, this is pretty faithful to actually, feels like actually playing pinball, which is something that's really hard to do with a video game. But I've heard pretty good things about Pinball Arcade. And there's a lot of tables, and there's downloadable tables of all kinds of different themes and stuff. So, pretty cool overall if you're a pinball fan. Then you probably already know about it. Next up is Final Fantasy Type O. This is the Steelbook version of it, which came in this case right here. This is the Final Fantasy Type O Limited Edition. They came with the art book and everything else. This was released, I think, only on the Square Enix website, so that's where I ended up getting it from. Next up is one of those regret buys now, but not then, is Zombie Army Trilogy, but this is the European release. The US is now getting it physical. It came out in Europe in March, and for some reason, and it came out in the US in March digitally, with no announcement of a physical edition. For some reason, we're getting physical now for this and Wolfenstein Old Blood, which we originally weren't getting. So anyway, that's why I ended up picking it up. Will I pick up the US versions of it? One day, probably, if I can get them really cheap. Next up is Sniper Elite, which goes along with Zombie Army Trilogy, actually, interestingly enough. Basically, the Sniper series, as far as I know, kind of like sprung off a side series called Zombies, and this combines all the zombie side games of the Sniper series. I watched a friend play this. If you like being a sniper, I heard it's a lot of fun, and there's some really awesome X-ray stuff when you snipe someone. Of course, the most famous being the X-ray shot to the testicles of an enemy that you can do, which usually is pretty unbelievably brutal to look at. Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare, not my kind of game, but a lot of people dig it, and they have a sequel coming out soon. And last but not least from this pile is Terraria, the PC game that's I always kind of compare Minecraft-ish. Those kind of games, not really into them, but Terraria got a physical release for some reason. Okay, 2 more piles left, and I think the next 2 piles are actually a little bit smaller than our other piles. I know this video is running long. Hopefully those who are sticking around are enjoying it. Yay. Anyway, next up is Godzilla. I just recently played this on my live stream. I did a playthrough for the PS3 version we talked about on the podcast. Basically, if you're a Godzilla fan, it's worth getting. It's getting terrible, terrible reviews, and I can understand why. Totally can understand why. It's not a very good game, honestly. But being a Godzilla fan, I enjoyed it. There's a lot to be had and a lot of, like, geek out moments as a Godzilla fan. Payday 2, the Crime Wave edition. I've been seeing this series of games for a while, but I never bought it, and I recently picked up this version of the game, and I tried it out a little bit. It's gotta be fun with friends, but single player by myself really kind of sucked. Like, I didn't like it at all. I don't have, like, the tools and all, so I gotta give it another shot and actually try to play it a little bit more. Because it seems like a really cool concept of doing, like, heist and stuff with friends and stealing stuff from different locations and all that kind of stuff. But I haven't really got into it. I didn't really like definitely by myself, it wasn't fun. Next up is Guilty Gear Xrd Sign, which is the newest, of course, Guilty Gear game, which actually the physical version of this game is a little bit hard to find. That's why I ended up buying it, even for the used $44 price. It was another one of those times where I used to buy 2, get 1 free. But really cool, awesome fighting game. From the same people that do BlazBlue, but Guilty Gear came first, but then they did BlazBlue, and now they're doing back to Guilty Gear. So anyway, next up is MLB The Show 15, but this is the 10th anniversary edition of the game. This version came with this awesome steelbook. It also came with free themes for every single team for your PS4, as well as you got a free decal for your controller, which was awful. I did get it, and you had to mail away for it. You had to say what team you wanted. They sent it to you, but it was honestly awful. And it was outdated, too. Like, that was a disappointing thing about this. Yes, it was a decal for the PS4, but they used outdated logos for my team, the Baltimore Orioles. It was, like, kind of outdated, and it didn't fit on the controller right, and just, I didn't like it. It was awful. I took it immediately off and just threw it away. But the game itself is awesome if you like baseball, of course, but this was like kind of a special edition version of the game. Next up is Omega Quintet. You play as J-pop idols, but in a JRPG setting. A niche game, of course, which you probably won't see too much of. You probably won't find that many copies of this game probably even out there. My friend Brian Kiriyama, he played it. He liked it a lot. I wish I could sit down and actually give this a shot, because it looked really cool, and I was really kind of hyped for it a little bit, because I liked the whole concept. It was different. Anything that's different, usually I'm going to gravitate towards. Next up, my favorite game of 2015 so far, and that is The Witcher 3. This is the special copy that came with the slip cover. But also was a part of my super amazing, awesome collector's edition of the game. Of course, I did an unboxing video for that if you want to check that out. But Witcher 3, loved it. It took me a couple weeks to beat it, which is a lot because I play games quickly, number one. There's DLC coming to it. There's some bunch of free DLC for it as well, costumes and some other stuff and all that. This is the best RPG on this system. If you can get into Western RPGs, it is difficult, especially if you play on harder difficulties. But it's easier than Witcher 2 was. So Witcher 2 was a little bit too rough for you. You may be able to play Witcher 3. But the story and the characters, and it's the most mature RPG I've ever played. And by mature, I don't mean like constant sex and stuff like that. I'm just talking about the overall mature themes and tones and everything that goes on with it. Yes, there is sex scenes in it that a lot of people immediately loved and got a lot of like publicity. But there's a ton more to this game than just that. In its core is honestly at this point the best game of 2015. And probably if it wasn't for Fallout 4 coming out this year as well, this probably would win my game of the year, all like totally. But anyway, Witcher 3. Next up is The Escapist. I just got this in the mail like 2 days ago. This is another one of those European-only released physical copies. In case you're wondering how many of these exist as far as physical released European-only games, there's probably actually about 10 or 15 of them already that aren't, like, North America does not have a physical version. We may have it on our PSN digitally, but not physically. So anyway, this is The Escapist, which is a really cool game. I've seen some people play it. I never got around to playing it yet. One thing also annoying is you can buy these off, if you're wondering where I got them, Amazon UK. You can actually get most of these. I haven't had any problem getting anything imported from Amazon UK. You do have to pay the shipping cost, and it is expensive because of the conversion rate. So you're talking about like $30 for a game that on it is only like 16 British pounds or something, and you end up paying $30 with shipping and all that. Anyway, though, you can get them through that if you do want them. And there's a few cool games, like I said, this and Gianna Sisters and a few others. The game I just beat tonight on my live stream, the God of War 3 remaster. Yes, another remaster, I know, but this was a great game back on the PS3, and it's still a great hack and slash now. If you've never played the God of War games, you like hack and slash games, play God of War. Well worth your time. Next up is another one of the physical released only in Europe games, and this is Tesla Guard. I just got this. I have not played this game at all. I don't know. The box art kind of caught my eye. I don't know. It's just a little bit different. I don't know if you want to say cartoonish, cheapish. I don't know. There's something about it. I bought it on a whim. Next up is my Japanese copy of Devil May Cry 4. And anyway, like I said, this did not get released here physically, but I got it. You can get it from Japan physically. So there you go. Next up is a game I did do one video for, and I can't pronounce the name of it. This is another one of my Japanese imported titles. Basically translates to Summer High School. It is the longest named game in the history of video games. I know you can't see it. There's a box of text here. All the text in this box is actually the title of the game. If you're wondering what it is, basically you go to a school for the summer, you become a member of the photography club, and you go around and you complete little like missions for the newspaper for the school. However, the big draw of the game is you can also take pictures of panty shots, and I mean gratuitous amounts of panty shots. You can even go. You can kind of say it's Metal Gear Solid meets Metal Gear Solid Panty Shot Edition. If you want to see gameplay of this and how it actually plays, I did do a video for it a couple weeks ago, so you can find it. The picture, the thumbnail of it is, of course, one of the many panty shots we took in the game. It was actually me and Rupam played that together. Next up is Wolfenstein: The Old Blood. This is another one that I mentioned earlier with the Zombie Army Trilogy. Was not supposed to come here physically, but did. I kind of keep blocking my face. I know it's kind of weird throughout the whole thing. But anyway, so there's another one. It is getting released here in North America physically. I probably wouldn't have imported it had I known that, but it's awesome. Wolfenstein New Order and Wolfenstein Old Blood are fantastic. Play those games if you like Wolfenstein. What's really cool in this one is every single level, they're hidden, but every single level you can find like a mattress or a bed and go into the retro world and replay levels from the original Wolfenstein, but in like the new engine, and it's really freaking cool. So check that out. Next up is Project Cars. I bought this the same day. I think I bought the Guilty Gear Xrd. I'm probably never going to play this. It's a car game. Samurai Warriors 4. This is another one. This is the new. There's Dynasty Warriors is Chinese history. Samurai Warriors is Japanese history, and then there's Warriors Orochi, which combines them. So anyway, this is Samurai Warriors. Next up is a game J-Stars Victory Plus. Sorry, J-Stars Versus Plus. This came here. It was a PS3 title that did not come here, but got remastered. They added the plus to it. I think they added a couple new characters, stuff like that. Touched it up and released it on PS4. And surprisingly, it did actually come to North America. This is the free art book you got if you pre-ordered the game. So I kind of keep them together. This is one of those ones kind of like Godzilla. I say if you're a fan of the animes included, and there's a ton of them: Dragon Ball, Naruto, One Piece. You know, a lot of Shonen Jump animes. There you go. If you're a fan of them, and fighting games, you may want to check this out. It's fun as a novelty with friends, like if you get friends together and play it. Playing it single player, though, no, don't do it. Okay, so that's that pile. I think we have one more pile left to go. I know it's been a long and amazing journey that we have been traveling through in my PS4 collection. Before we get to this last pile, let me just talk really quickly. I have Skylanders. This is Swap Force. And I do have Skylanders Trap Team. These are the starter packs that come with the game and a few figures in the portal. I got them 20 bucks a piece. So I did not overpay for these. Normally these are $60. The next starter pack coming out for the new Skylanders, which comes out in September, I think, is like $75. It's ridiculous. But anyway, so these I got for only 20 bucks for the whole box and everything. Not a bad deal, in all honesty, when you see what you get for it. So that's why I ended up picking those up. So I do have the Skylanders games. Okay, last pile. Last pile. Thank you everybody for watching this video, sticking around for it. Anyway, here we go. We got Arcania. This is the complete Gothic collection, or the complete tale. It's Arcania Gothic 4, and then the expansion to Arcania Gothic 4, all in one set. It's another RPG. This was released by Nordic Games, published by Nordic Games. They're also, I think, publishing the Legend of K Anniversary Edition, which is coming out next week. And then there's another game they're releasing, kind of another niche, weird PSN-style title coming out in a few months. I want to say close to the end of the year. They're a weird publisher. I don't know why they're even... I was shocked to see this come up, and it was only a $20 release, new when it came out. But I actually got a physical release, so I picked it up. Next up, Warriors Orochi. Like I was just talking about, basically this combines, as far as I know, I've never really been into the Warriors Orochi series. I'm pretty sure it combines characters from Dynasty Warriors and Romance of the Three, and Samurai Warriors, and puts them all together in one full-blown game. Okay, next up is the rarest PS4 game that currently is on the market, and that is Retro City Rampage DX. If any PS4 collector or game collector that's watching this video has probably been waiting for this one to pop up if I had it. But anyway, this was done extremely limited printing. You had to order it online. It was only $25 if you bought it during that initial printing, if you were able to get your pre-orders in. Copies of this game are now going for over $100, amazingly enough. Collectors love their games and love physical releases. And I'm one of them. So I ended up getting this game. I paid close to like $60 for this copy because I didn't know about the original release. I know it's expensive, but it's going up. It'll crash and probably come down a bunch. It also has like the world record for the lowest amount of data on a disc. It's only 8 megabytes on the Blu-ray disc included in this game. One of the things, though, I do love about this, though, is the disc art is done in classic Sega Master System style box art, which is just fantastic. This game's available, of course, on PSN. It was also on PS3 and stuff like that. You cannot find this in store. It doesn't have a barcode. It's not an official like barcoded game. You can't. I couldn't trade this in the GameStop if I wanted to. It's not going to be in their system. So that's one of the reasons why it's so rare. It's not. It was not released by a major company or anything like that. This was a very, very limited printing, and I'm always on the lookout to see if there's another game that's going to get a limited printing like this, because I'm like, I need to jump on it immediately. Next up is Bladestorm Nightmares. I thought this was going to be a new Bladestorm game. Basically, Bladestorm is another one of those Dynasty Warrior style games. I know there's 100 of them on the PS4 alone. But Bladestorm is the English and French war, and includes like other stuff in that, but that's the characters based on it. And Nightmare is the updated version of Bladestorm, which was originally released on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. It's a little bit hard to actually get a copy of that version of the game. This is kind of like the updated version. There was more stuff added to it, but it's not a sequel. It's not a sequel to that game. It's just kind of the same game remastered with added stuff. But I'm not seeing a whole lot of copies of this game out there, so it may become a little bit scarce. Next up is Borderlands, the Handsome Jack Collection, which included Borderlands 2 and Borderlands the pre-sequel. Unfortunately, not Borderlands 1, but included all the DLC all in one big package. Has a nice, cool slipcover. I'm not a Borderlands fan. I gave it my best bet, my best shot. I played all the Borderlands 2, and I played most of the pre-sequel. Not my kind of game. It's a lot of the fetch quest, and the crafting that I'm not really into. But there's a lot of huge fans out there. I love the characters. I love the characters in Borderlands, like Claptrap, but mostly like Tiny Tina and Mad Moxie. I even have a pop vinyl of her, thanks to Zero, who sent that to me a little while back. But I couldn't get into it. I tried my best at this. Next up is a game that kind of like failed miserably. Evolve. This game was supposed to be like the new Left 4 Dead. In fact, I think it was even made by some of the same people as Left 4 Dead. However, it had a really crappy DLC premise. And a lot of people kind of were turned off from that. So anyway, Evolve, special cool slipcover though on it, which actually feels really nice. So they did like a really cool like indentation on it, so you can find it, like feel like the print on there, the giant paw. Next up is Need for Speed Rivals. Probably not gonna ever really play this, but Need for Speed Rivals. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. This was the Day 0 edition. I think it came with free codes or something, which have probably already been used. I bought this used, so I'm not really caring about it. But anyway, Call of Duty. Next up is Bloodborne. A lot of people love this game. This is from Software, who also does the newest Dark Souls, Demon Souls. Whatever one. I get confused because Demon and Dark Souls were created by one company, and I think did Bloodborne, and then Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3 are being made by a different company. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's how it is. And From Software, I think did Demon Souls, Dark Souls, and now Bloodborne, which is a PS4 exclusive, I think. I love the look of this game. I love the style of this game. The Gothic style is fucking gorgeous. I wish I liked the game, though. I can't really get into the game. It's not because, get good, it's too difficult. It's not about difficulty. What drives me away from these games, Dark Souls, Demon Souls, is the story. There's no real story. You're kind of plopped in. You can read some stuff and find out more. But it's not like a plot. You're not driven by a plot. It's kind of like do whatever you want. Kind of MMO-ish in a way because of the way it's set up. I know it has a huge fan base. I'm not gonna say I'm just not a fan of these games. I watched friends play, plenty of friends play Dark Souls 2, and even Bloodborne. Like I said, I love the style of this game. I wish I could get into it, but I can't. Also, the load times killed this game. Watching the girlfriend play it and you die a lot in these kind of games. I heard Bloodborne's easier than the others. I've heard. Either way, you're still going to die. And the problem is, when you die, the load times are so horrendous that it's like, you can go get like a cup of coffee in between each death. And last but not least, surprisingly, I don't know why this one became last, but anyway, Mortal Kombat X. I love this game. I love the crap out of this game. D'Vorah has become one of my favorite characters in all of the Mortal Kombat universe. They're actually making a statue of her, which I'm going to buy when it comes out. I just found out about that recently. Anyway, here's the steelbook for it. Here it is. Now, what I do want to show, and I did an unboxing for this, of course, but since it is right here, let me grab this. This is the Scorpion statue that came with my version of the game, which was the Amazon exclusive limited edition. There was a limited edition that came with a different kind of Scorpion statue. Some people may like that one better. I'm a fan of the more classic Scorpion. But anyway, this was the special statue, a really nice statue that came with the Amazon, quote, Amazon exclusive version of the game. So, anyway, guys, that is everything, I think. Holy crap. We went through a ton of PS4 games during the course of this. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the video. If you'd like to see more of my collection videos, maybe I can break it up into things, maybe like, because some of my collections, of course, are over 100 games, and it probably took us an hour or more just to get through this. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what the total of games was, because like I said, I lost track. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this video, and of course, I hope you enjoyed.